Oh, I can't remember what buttons I pressed to do what, but it's fine. We're live. Evening, everybody. Welcome to another Gaming Arcadia Roundtable podcast, where there's plenty to talk about again because we're at the tail end of showcase season, which means we've got the Xbox showcase, we've got the Nintendo Direct to talk about, we've got the 100 days resetting of everything Xbox to talk about. Quite a bit there that we can get into as well. But before we do, let's say hello to everybody. So we're going to go in reverse order this time. Amine.
Yes.
Hello, how you doing?
What's up? I'm doing good. Happy to be here. I had a long week at work, so yeah, happy to talk about games.
Yeah, we're going to do some of that. Good. Luke.
Hello.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good, yes. I think I've caught up on everything, maybe. So, yeah, looking forward to talking about it.
I didn't think you ever need to catch up on things. I thought you're always like on the beat and know absolutely what's going on at all times.
It takes effort to be this glued in, you know? So
I understand. That's why I don't do it.
Yeah, yep.
Craig.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good
How
evening,
goes
everyone.
it?
Absolutely fine. Another week in the bag, another podcast. Happy to be here.
There we go. So everyone's happy to be here. I'm convinced by all of those answers. And I think, so last week we glossed over what we've been playing because there was so much showcase stuff to talk about that there wasn't possibly time to get into my favourite part where we just talk about some games that we've been playing. This week, I'm not going to gloss over it again, even though we've still got loads to talk about. I want to know what these people have been playing over the last couple of weeks. And we're going to go with Amine first. Amine, you've been working hard all week, but you must have had a little bit of time, a little bit of leisure to get some gaming in. What have you been up to?
I played some games. Played Cyberpunk. I got back to it for
Why?
the sixth time. I want to like it. But I don't know. This is my sixth time trying to love it, trying to actually play it. Every time I play it, like I start from zero, like from the beginning of the game. And if you look at my Steam profile, I have played it for more than 32 hours, and it's always been like for a few hours, and then I stop.
What's like deflecting you though? Like, why don't you like it? Because Cyberpunk's amazing, but what have you got to say?
Every time I play it, like the graphics are amazing, but like the NPCs, like the small glitches, the dialogue is not. I don't like the edgy dialogue that they have. I understand why they do it; it makes sense, like for the setting that they have, but they are also like very, very serious. Like there is not a lot of humor there, and that's what puts me off. Like something about it. Also, like the game allows you to do like stealth and all of that, but I find the enemies are stupid. Like they don't react to you shooting and all of that. And also the police system is not like perfect as well. And usually when there is like stealth in a game, usually I take that, but I'm so like not into this game that I
understand.
Go blasting. Like,
so what's happening here is basically it needs to be more like Need for Speed for you to enjoy
it. No, I never said.
Fair enough. Okay, I mean, let's not go too much more into Cyberpunk. You've got your reasons for not playing it. It is phenomenal, but if the world doesn't grip you at this point, probably don't go back for a seventh try. Like, it's okay to have your own opinion on it and say, I don't much like Cyberpunk, so just leave it, park it, leave it to one side and play other things. There's a million games. Speaking of, let's move it around and see what Luke's been playing. We'll come back to you, Amine, don't you worry. I know you're dying to tell us what else you've been playing, and we'll get there. But Luke, what have you been up to?
Kind of the same games as like 3 weeks ago, basically, except for one, which is 007, which I finished. So I wrapped that up. I wrapped it up last week, actually, just before the Xbox showcase. So yeah, done that.
Well, tell me, because
every second of it. Yeah.
Good. I thought you were going to move on to the next game then. I was panicking. So you loved every second of it. You've got to the end. From what I gather, just from snippets that I saw, it does have post-game content as well. Is that in there now, or is it coming later?
It does. It has Taxim, which is sort of like a way to replay missions amongst other things, and you can kind of do them in different ways. And then there are other challenges as part of that. So it does have post game content, and then I think IO did a roadmap of new stuff coming in year one as well, which includes more Taxim, and also includes a new mission, like kind of a off story mission, and some other bits and pieces. So obviously, I think as to be expected with IO, they're very keen to keep supporting it, because it's done well, and good because it's brilliant.
So obviously you finished the story, you enjoyed the story. Do you have any plans to play this extra content, or is it not that for you?
Yes, I probably won't play much Taxim, but I will most certainly play the new mission that's coming, because having like new fresh stuff in that game would just be really cool. And it's just a lot of like the game is. It's really up there for me in terms of some of the best stuff I've played this year, particularly different parts of it. But it's just a very gripping, interesting Bond story, like with really great performances and like top tier visuals, and just the mission design is so well executed. And then you just get these big kind of massive action moments, which is very Uncharted coded, and just the combination of all of that I just really, really dug. So I'm hoping they'll keep supporting it with more missions after this one as well, which I'm sure they will do. But awesome game.
Okay, and if you had to choose between the James Bond game and Yorkshire tea, which would you go for?
Oh, it's hard. It's hard. Craig's here, so I better answer very carefully. I'll probably go for the warm refreshment of Yorkshire tea for the rest of my life, because 007 First Light's got I've done it, it run out. So unless you're talking about sequels, in which case I've got a real challenge and choice to make there. But
okay, fair enough. I don't know why I asked that, but I did. I mean, you've obviously done this game as well, so you've got that shared, you've got that bond in common. Is it a game that you're going to go back to at all, or it's behind you now?
Maybe I will not do the additional content that that's available now, but I will get back when they have those missions. That mission where they teased it in the summer showcase, that's for later this year, right, Luke?
Yes.
They did. Yeah. Okay. Even though that character is not my favorite, but I will get back to it.
Yeah, that character is very underused in the game. So I'm kind of glad that they're doing more with the character, but also I was quite surprised how little that character is in the game.
Speaking of supporting it, well, I don't know if we should talk about this, but Amazon said something like a few weeks ago, like they got hold of the IP now, so they are in control of the games as well. So hopefully they don't get in the way of IO and all of that. They continue letting IO make the game.
Nobody has a massive amount of trust in Amazon because they don't have a good track record of doing anything right in gaming, particularly. But yes, they are in control of the future of the series. They could choose not to work with IO at all on the sequel to that James Bond game if they wanted. But hopefully they're not so silly, because success is success, and they're going to want more of it, right? But time will tell on that. Craig, what have you played?
The only thing different that I've played, because I'm still grinding Forza, I've found something in Forza that I don't like, actually.
Oh, let's do that first.
I don't know. I don't know if everyone's done it. Yeah, your driver tar. No, it was in the center of Japan. There's the food delivery missions, and it's so repetitive. it's just you've got to go pick up your food delivery and then get it to the destination, but then they want you to do some drifting on the way or get some wreckage score or some random stuff like that. And it's fine initially, but to get to level 9, you can be an hour playing it. But towards the end, when you're at like level 6 and then it's to 7 and 8, you can be an hour playing it before you level up. And I'm like, no, please, no more. I can't take it, but I have to complete
the whole of Forza kind of repetitive. Isn't this what makes it? This is like the counter to it being a repetitive endeavor, right? Because this is a different activity to give you some variety in your life.
It's too much of the same activity, though. It's far too much of this.
Okay.
And then that aside, I just played the Star Fox demo on Switch earlier on. Yeah.
Tell me about that, man. Go on then.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm surprised about how much I remember of it, actually. But it's a very nice recreation of it. Yep, very slick.
How much of a demo is it? How long does it last?
You do the learning the controls, like the introduction to the thing, where you're in a flight sim. That's how they address it. And then you do the first mission up to the boss at the end of the first mission.
And you've enjoyed it enough that you might pick it up when it comes out, or?
Potentially, yeah, actually. Yeah. Like I said, I'm always looking for an excuse to play on the Switch more. And there you go. Nintendo exclusive that is enjoyable.
Did you? Okay, so you played it. It's got like mouse controls and things like that. Did you just play it traditional, like?
It offered me the option to do the mouse controls after the tutorial, but I was sat with the controller. I was thinking that you might be able to use motion controls with the controller, but that's certainly not an option in the demo anyway. Whether it will be in the
they had like what do they call them, like a test group that were playing it, and they kept breaking the switch when they did a barrel roll. They just kept throwing it, going bollocks. So they took that out of the game entirely, which is necessary and sad. But so have either of you picked up this demo?
Yeah, I've finished it as well. I did the demo.
Impressed?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it's very pretty, very nice looking. Like it looks, especially for Switch too, very, very good looking. Runs really well. It's Star Fox 64, but just really high fidelity, basically, and with like proper voice acted cutscenes and voice acting in the game proper, and it's really nice. I'll be picking it up when it comes out next week after, something like that.
I don't know when it comes out. That's sooner than I realised, but makes sense. Can't say that it's high on my list to pick up, but I might do eventually at some point. I
want to try it.
Oh, there's a demo. I mean, you can try the demo. That's what it's there for.
Yeah,
download it.
Yeah, I will download it. I played the demo of a game that is similar to Star Fox. I don't know if you have seen this game, but it's called
Wild Blue.
Yeah, it's called the Wild Blue Skies. I'm not sure how similar to Star Fox in controls it is, but I don't like the controls. I would say that. I don't like that the aiming thing that you're aiming, it fights you. Like when you let go of it, it tries to like go back to the center. Is it like that? Is Star Fox like that as well when you're controlling the camera? Okay. I'm not sure I like that.
Do you know what
first
I mean?
person when you're inside the cab is not nice. I didn't like being inside the ship. I couldn't hit anything, couldn't see anything.
What you can do, I mean, though, is next time when you get to like your 7th attempt at playing Cyberpunk, and you're like, oh, everybody likes Cyberpunk, I have to play Cyberpunk again, I'm going to start from the beginning. Don't do that. Go and try the Star Fox demo instead. And then you'll learn whether you like it or not. Pretty wise suggestion, that one. Okay, cool. What else have we got? Luke, got any more for us?
Yeah.
Things you've played?
Just the same stuff as last time. So more Forza and more Lego Batman.
And no Mina the Hollower.
No, yeah, I'm refusing. I did play the first 5 minutes. I played the demo, so I've already played like the first 30, 40 minutes of the game. But I booted it up just to remember how it started, and then I put it back down because I'm like, I'm not going to get into it until I've finished Lego Batman.
Yeah, very sensible. Yeah, try and get a game out of the way before starting another one. Or I typically have maybe 2 or 3 on the go at once. At the moment, not so much. At the moment, I'm just putting hours and hours and hours into Unicorn Overlord, which I'm really enjoying very much. So you said Lego Batman, and what was the other one?
Forza.
Yeah. I mean, that's a background game, isn't it? You can't.
Yeah, it's brilliant for that.
Put a bow on that and move on to the next one. So it's going to sit there for ages.
Yep.
Okay, and Amine.
Yes.
Any others from you?
I played a few things, so I'm gonna run maybe through them fast. Like there is Resident Evil 9 VR. I played it in VR. I played like a good chunk of it. Like I got from start to when you get at least the first cube that you put in a door. I'll just say that. But yeah, played it in VR. Are you interested in it, Asa? Yeah, it does work well, but I found it like hard to understand the controls at first because like the Quest controller doesn't have as many buttons as other controllers, so you have to do a combo of buttons, and the game doesn't explain that to you because it's a mod. And also there are some gesture stuff, so you need to put your hand on your shoulder to put like the flashlight like next to your head, and also you need to put like your hand on your belly like to put like magazines and all of that.
Okay, so it does have like VR reloading, as it were, like properly.
Yeah, there is VR reloading. I don't like that they prevent you. So when you're doing the VR reloading, if there is like a bullet in the chamber, they don't let you like cock it. So you only cock it if there is like no bullets left, and then you reload, and then you cock the gun.
In terms of like, I know not many people are going to VR, and not many people are going to look at this game in VR. But in terms of just getting it going, obviously you're installing the mod. Is there much configuration beyond that, or is it pretty playable straight away?
You do need to reduce the graphics, but not that much, I would say. You need like there is a guide, like there is a simple guide for it. There is like an installer that walks you through the steps that you need to do. Yeah, you need to understand the controls, which took me a while, and the game. Like after I changed my settings to match what the person was saying, the modder was saying. When I launched the game, it changed my settings back, so I did not realize that, and I had to do it again. So I don't know why.
Crack on. Anything else?
There is. I tried Forza a little bit,
also
and I
VR,
also played it in VR. Yeah, I did VR, but that's far away from being perfect. I played Flat Out VR, which is good.
Didn't invite me.
I don't know. Like I will invite you tomorrow. We'll play. Okay, and yeah, there are more demos. I want to talk a little bit more about the demos, but we can go to other people if they have other.
Well, no, we're finishing off with you, and then we're going to topics, and we're going to the Nintendo Direct. So, what are these demos?
Played Sinking City 2. It's I never played Sinking City 1, but apparently this one is trying to be a little bit different. It's trying to be more like Resident Evil 2 remake a little bit. It's more survival horror. There is zombies. And like there is a very, very limited amount of resources. There is crafting. There is like a safe room, just like Resident Evil. You go to a safe room and you have a box where you can put your loot in, and there is also like a vinyl player that you save on. Yeah, it's I like what I played of it. It's actually really good. I've never played the first one, but I'm very interested in this one from what I played.
Do you know when it comes out?
No, not sure. I'm not sure when does it come out. I need to look it up. But yeah, I did like what I played from it.
Okay.
It's good. There is another game that's I also played called Silver Pines, and it's also like a horror, kind of a horror game, side scroller, I would say. It's inspired by Alan Wake 2, Silent Hill, and Resident Evil. It's also like a very limited resources. There is like from Alan Wake 2, they take the idea of like you walk into a room that is dark, you flip the switch for the light, and then you're teleported to another place without loading screen, something like that. And they also have like ink ribbons, but it's not ink ribbons. There is like phone cabinets that you put like a coin in to save, and the same like coins that you can use to buy ammo from like ammo and other stuff
Okay,
from
so
like a
the
vending
simple act
machine.
of saving your progress is a finite resource that you share with
Yeah.
other. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Nasty.
the enemies are a little bit like you see in the video, a little bit like Silent Hill 2, but they are like black, like dark, I would say, like not like the white looking enemies in Silent Hill 2. So
Okay.
those are the most important ones, I would say. There are other demos, but maybe for next time.
Okay, fair, good. Craig, Luke, did you have anything that you wanted to ask about either of them, or shall we crack on with the Nintendo Direct?
No, I'm good.
We can crack on.
Go on then, Luke, do it.
No, you do it.
Okay, fine. So Tuesday had Nintendo Direct. It had some things there that some people like. Craig was especially fond of. What were you especially fond of, Craig?
Not a right lot. No, Ocarina of Time remake.
Why?
But because the nostalgia is it's at 100%. It's more for not Ocarina of Time. What a game!
See, you're not alone
Peak
in that, right?
N64.
I mean, I don't share it with you. I've never played it, but do you think nostalgia is going to be enough? Like, would the game? I'm just assuming that it's a bit shit if you play it now, and I'm assuming that because I played it and it was a bit shit, right? Do you think that? I mean, would you think that the original one, as it was then, would hold up today, or do they have a whole lot of work to do to completely revamp all of the gameplay and systems?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I enjoy it. We're playing it. I wouldn't say recently, but on the Nintendo 64 online pack on the Switch 2, I was playing it on there, and I enjoy it. But that's a lot of nostalgia is doing the heavy lifting there. But yeah, it's got a lot to do to bring it up, and I think just some shiny graphics aren't going to cut it. It's going to have to get the systems are going to have to be modernized, free camera and all that.
Okay, so I haven't played it. Luke, you played it. Amine, have you played it? The original Ocarina of Time?
No, never played it. I did not have a
Yeah, I mean,
console,
that's fine. You spent your time on a PC. That's not a problem at all. So between the two of you, then, was the original ripe for a remake? Does it have the kind of breadth? Because I look at it, and it was obviously quite pioneering in terms of when games kind of moved into that third dimension, right? And fair play, that was an important time in gaming, and it did a lot. But it makes me wonder how much actual substance was in there, how much depth and breadth there is to this game, as to what material they've got to work with to bring it into the present day. Craig, I mean, is that a valid concern, or do you think there is enough on the bone from the original to just kind of bring it forwards and give you the Ocarina of Time that you remember?
Yeah, I think there's enough story there for sure. There is enough to it for the way. Yeah, I mean, one thing that I would say is when I went back to it, obviously a lot more recently, and was playing the N64 version, I did cut through the first two temples very quickly. And in my mind, as a kid, I don't know if you do that thing where you upscale things in your mind and think that they were better than they were. I thought I remember them taking me a lot longer to get through than what they did. So yeah, potentially you might be onto something there. That what was considered a lot of effort then, not so much now from what we're used to. But
that's okay. Like in the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, there's an area called Gungaga Forest, and in Final Fantasy VII, that's 2 paths. You go to Gungaga and you go up a path, and then you go up a different path, and that's it. You're done. In Rebirth, that's a whole freaking zone, the worst zone in the game, that takes like a lot of hours of time. So they can go that route, and they can really expand on the existing areas and make them hell for you. And that would be fair and reasonable. But Luke, are you coming at Ocarina of Time as a massive fan of the original? How do you think it holds up?
Yeah, I think it's. I think it would need work, to not just in terms of modernization, so camera and controls and all that stuff, but obviously, I think it would probably have to be rejigged or expanded somewhat or changed. Like, I don't know if it needs, say, Final Fantasy VII levels of changing, where it's effectively a new game. But I think it would need to be, kind of the RE2 style, where it's, within the spirit of the original, but it is significantly expanded. The problem is we don't know if what it is in terms of, what have they done? How big a budget is it? From the brief glimpse we got of it, it's clearly, I'd say for Nintendo, quite high budget. And it seems like a big proper remake. I'm very excited for it. Very excited. But and I trust Nintendo to do it well. But I think we need to just see more of it to see what kind of scope it has.
It's not that far away either, is it? In terms of when you get a grand reveal for a big game, relatively high budget as Nintendo go, we've not got that long to wait for it. So,
it's this year.
It's this year.
Yeah. Okay. So.
I'm interested in playing it. I never played it, but I am.
No, you're not allowed.
Okay, I'm not allowed. Okay.
You can have 7 goes at
it. You can play it when you finish Cyberpunk. Yeah.
Is it actually linear? Like, is it more linear or is it open?
So the original. So go on, Craig.
Yeah, it's you have to do it in the order. It's a linear progression through it. But you've got some freedom in you know what I mean? You've got the open world of Hyrule, and you go, oh well, I'm not gonna go do the next dungeon, I'm gonna go to the stables and get the hot, and just there's bits to do that don't mean you have to just trek the path from one dungeon to the next.
Oh, you ruined that for me. I like linear.
It's more wide linear, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is linear, but it's wide linear.
Okay. I'm interested in playing it. It's odd that we are already in the second half and they did not announce like a date for it. They just said 2026. I'm guessing, did they have like an anniversary coming or something like that? Maybe they'll show it then.
They had one. It was the 40th anniversary a few months ago.
Yeah,
so I assume I assume it's just they'll just drop a direct one day for it, like specifically for Ocarina of Time.
Okay, and I'm going to guess. So, Craig and Luke, you're both like pretty much definite going to get in on this when it comes out for the sake of that nostalgia. So the structure of the original game, though. In fact, let's not. Going to ask stupid questions to sate my own curiosity, but anyone that's interested in that game has played it and knows the answer, so I'm not going to bother. I'll ask you another time about those. Let's go for Luke. Another one from Nintendo Direct that caught your interest.
Probably Final Fantasy Resonance. That was a very unexpected one for me. Because that sort of opened up, and I instantly, like, it's very recognizable visual design, that kind of HD 2D thing that Square do. But then there were some figures that were kind of unmistakably to me Final Fantasy in design before they said it was Final Fantasy. So I'm very excited about that because I didn't really play a lot of Octopath. I played a bit, but I really appreciated what it was. But I think the reason I didn't play much Octopath was just that I was kind of like, I'd kind of just like Final Fantasy in this, like, and I'm surprised they haven't done it yet. And lo and behold, they are doing it now. So yeah, really, really amped for this one. Looks beautiful as well, as the art style always does.
So I was almost there with it when they showed the trailer, which I've forgotten the name of the game. It won't come up. Final Fantasy Revenant, isn't it?
Resonance.
Okay. Yeah. I'm confusing it with something else. Right. When the trailer came on, it hit really well as like a move back to a kind of Final Fantasy that I respect the current ones, 16 and the whole cinematic direction that they've gone since 13. It's all good. I like it still. I'll play those. I love the amount of like effort and polish and soundtracks and all the things that they do well. But I miss the old Final Fantasies. And then they show this and it's like, that's the old Final Fantasies. It's hitting all of the right notes for me. Absolutely. I cannot wait to get my hands on this. I'm really excited for it. And then towards the end of the trailer, they started showing cameos from heroes from other Final Fantasy games. And I, like that feeling of excitement just sunk a bit for me. Because I wanted an original Final Fantasy story that is cohesive in its own right and isn't like a tribute to the series. And once you start pulling in the other characters from the other games in a way that doesn't really make sense, then it becomes a tribute game rather than a real kind of mainline one. And that was disappointing for me personally. I say that I really liked, I think, was it World of Final Fantasy, the weird one with the collection stuff? It was a good game in its own right. And that had lots of cameos from other characters and all the rest of it, but it very much wasn't like a mainline Final Fantasy. So this art style is good enough for a mainline game to me. It doesn't have to be numbered, but it's good enough to stand on its own and tell its own story. I don't need Cloud. I don't need Squall. I don't need what's her face Lightning. Like,
yeah, I think that the way it's described is their visions. So they're like, echoes of other characters from, Final Fantasy universe, who have their own skills and abilities. But the story is completely original Final Fantasy. But interestingly, it is based on
Brave X, whatever it is.
Brave Exvius, which was a mobile game that ran for, I don't know, like 10 years or something like that, and kind of was like eked out over time and then was shut down. But they have like it's not the mobile game. It's using that story. Some of that story is a foundation, but they've completely rebuilt a game, built a game around that concept and completely refreshed and revamped the story to make it fit, to be a main Final Fantasy. And then they've got the Visions stuff as well. So I think they did exactly the same as that for Octopath for the first one. That was also based on a mobile game. And obviously very well received. So so I think I kind of went high from the reveal, and like the Vision stuff doesn't bother me. I think it's like a quirky nod to the universe, a multiverse of Final Fantasies. But then hearing it was based on a mobile game was like, I don't know about that. And then hearing actually them describe it, I was like, okay, it's not actually based on a mobile game. Really, it's just using parts of it for the basis of this game. So I'm very excited. And another game coming this year as well, which is ridiculous.
And Craig, you hate Final Fantasy.
Correct, yeah.
Fair. Like, can't argue with it. You're entitled to your own terrible taste. I mean, you don't like fantasy games in general. You don't like Final Fantasy either.
It's so I'm not into turn-based games, but I'm not into Final Fantasy and never played one for a long time. Well, we did play Stranger Than
That doesn't
Heaven or
count. Sit down.
Stranger Than Paradise. Yeah, we will not count it. Okay, we will not count it. But yeah, I did try to play 7 at one point. I might play it. I'm a bit interested in playing 7 remake. As I told the story, I did when I was a kid. Like I saw the cinematics of 7, and I was like, "Oh, that guy with the big sword is cool." And then I saw the gameplay, and I was like, "Nah, I'm not playing that." But I might play 7 at some point. This looks cool. I like the art style that Square Enix is doing with the.
I will say what I always say. I hate the term
HD.
HD 2D. I resent that term, and I wish they would drop
But
it.
it's high definition 2D visuals. High definition 2D visuals. What's wrong with that?
Stop repeating it, Luke. It's upsetting me. I'm getting angry. I'm getting all worked up. My blood pressure's rising.
They've got to call it something.
Not
They've got to
that.
call that art style something. What would you name it?
I
What
don't
would you
know.
call it?
I'll think about it. And
4K
come back to you.
pixel art.
But it can be any resolution. I wouldn't focus on that particularly. But it's like isometric pixel blend. Oh, fucking, I don't know.
No.
No, I know that was a worse name, but I'm not having HD 2D. So, I mean, I'm actually really curious if you do go and play 7, because you said you like Devil May Cry and things like that, and you'd like a kind of action version where you get to use that big sword. 7 Remake, to me, is fantastic, but I really don't know how much of that is a result of my own nostalgia for the original. I don't know how well it stands alone for someone like you that doesn't have that little connection. So you should try it just so I can find out a little bit.
I did try it, by the way. I did try a little bit because it was on PS5, PS Plus. So
Yeah,
I did
I did
try,
too, yeah.
like I did fight the first boss, and like I don't know how much is that, and then there is a counter, like the timer and all of that, and I don't know how far I got, but the only thing I don't like about Final Fantasy and some of the Japanese games is when they get really weird with stuff like karaoke, and I know Final Fantasy
won't like
has
Rebirth.
stuff like that. I don't want that shit.
A remake has the whole honeybee thing, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. So you probably just stay away from it. Save yourself the trouble. Get through Cyberpunk.
I'll try it. I'll try it at some point. Yeah, I see you, Ronnie. I'll try to play it. I don't like the karaoke, Ronnie. Yeah.
It's funny you should say that.
Do you
Johnny,
like
because next
karaoke
week
in real
was going to
life?
be the karaoke episode of the podcast, but we're going to have to pivot. We're going to have to rethink it. Craig would be up for it. So,
Yeah.
Craig, no, yeah, maybe. Amine, Craig. Was there anything else in the whole showcase that you did actually? And this is the Nintendo Direct, because I know you didn't see much in it that took your fancy. But was there anything else in there that stood out?
Me or Craig?
Craig.
No, I was just flicking through the list of what was showed. There's not really. No. Not for me,
Damn.
sadly.
Damn, for a guy with a Kirby toy, you sure do hate everything Nintendo.
Yeah, but not Kirby.
No, he wasn't there to be fair, yeah.
He wasn't there, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then Amine, is there anything else in the showcase that stood out for you as like even remotely interesting?
I'm interested a bit in that Orbitals game. They are trying to do what's their name? Hazelight or whatever their name is. The studio, like co-op game that is mainly co-op. I'm interested in that. It looks cool, but I want to see the reviews. I'm not sure if it will actually play good and if it will actually have like good mechanics and diverse gameplay. But I might get that.
What makes you
there is other
doubt that it will have good mechanics? Is it something in the trailer that you just don't like the look of?
I don't know. Like I just don't pre-order games or get really hyped for them until like I see like the people played it and tried it's good. Like I need to get some evidence, but from the looks of it, the graphics and all of that, it seems fine for now, right? That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, cool. This is actually so I'd seen people mention the name of this one, but I hadn't caught this trailer, so I'm seeing it now. It's not made by Hazelight, is it?
No,
just trying to like copy their style in terms of It Takes Two and yeah. Okay. I mean, that looks cool. I like the retro anime style of all the cutscenes and stuff, so I'm there for it. What about you, Luke? Into this one?
Yeah, I've been into this one since it was announced. So I unless it turns out that reviews poorly, I'll definitely pick it up because it's been shown a few times now at the directs, and now I think this is the one where it got a release date, like a proper release date. So yeah, I just the art style's tremendous. So yeah, I am
September 3rd.
Looking forward to it.
Another one for September.
Early September, though. Early September. It's not the September the 24th or the 25th. So,
yes, there'll be plenty of time to get through it. Something's happening. James, thank you for that. 23 months as a member of the channel, which helps a lot. So much appreciated. 23 months. Geez, most of that is from Final Fantasy 14. You'll get to the end eventually. Maybe. Luke, you've got better taste than Craig. I bet there's some other stuff in the showcase that you enjoyed. What you got?
Yeah, true. What was that?
That was a dig at Mr. Craig.
No, it's fine. Luke has got better taste.
Yes.
There are a couple of things I've shown before which I'm looking forward to, like Splatoon Raiders, which comes out relatively soon. I'm a big Splatoon fan, and single player Splatoon sounds great. The only other big announcement I would say that they had, which I am looking forward to, but I was also kind of a bit like is Xenoblade Genesis, which is like a new kind of a reboot-ish of the series. So it's not a Chronicles game, so it's a standalone kind of new thing. The only thing I don't like about it is that they're going for this school-based thing again, like not again, but like that's the premise, and I just feel like because Fire Emblem's already done this with free houses, and like there are obviously Persona does this and stuff like that. I just wish they'd picked a different starting conceit for a reboot of Xenoblade, because it all kind of merges into one. Now, obviously, Xenoblade's a very different. Well, it's a very different type of game than Fire Emblem or what was the other one I mentioned? Persona. Like because those are turn-based or grid-based games, and Xenoblade is sort of it's a weird combat system, but it's like real-time ATB Final Fantasy-ish basically. So so I thought it looked good, and I'm looking forward to it, but I just don't like that it has that setting basically.
So what upset me is exactly that. I didn't know. I've not.
Oh right.
Like one of my biggest takeaways from the Nintendo thing was, okay, there's more Fire Emblem. I like Fire Emblem, but I'd rather it wasn't following on in the Three Houses kind of era, which it is. I'm still looking forward to that. And then I saw you've obviously got the one that you mentioned, the Xenoblade Genesis. This is a fine starting point for the series if you're an outsider that's been curious and might want to get into it like myself. And then they simultaneously announced like Switch 2 versions of all of the other ones. So my starting point is more confused than ever. But what I never realized was that it would go high school. Yeah. And Japanese RPGs in general, it's a genre that I love, but they're always split into these two categories. There's some overlap, some will do both, but it's always, there's a sealed away deity that some evil entity is gonna try and release, and you're gonna almost inevitably fight them at the end, or it's in a high school. Yeah. I don't like the high school ones. I don't like Persona. I don't care for like weird relationship management of teenagers. I find the whole thing is just like no thanks. And now you just told me that this one is going that route. So I'm slightly devastated to hear this, but it's okay because the other games aren't set in high school, correct?
Correct. Yeah, they're not. They're not. And I would recommend the other games, especially now that they have the Switch 2 patches, because they will look a million times better than they did when I played them on Switch. So, those are great. And look, like Genesis may be great. I'm not ruling it out purely because it is high school setting. I'm just disappointed that that's where they started for a reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are so many angles you could go from, and as you say, to go for like one of the common motifs that you see in JRPGs is disappointing.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it's what it is. So I will start the series elsewhere. You've played them then, so what is the correct starting point? How should I get into it as a series?
I think just played. I think just play Xenoblade Chronicles, and then just play 2 and 3. I also really love X, but that's kind of like a separate thing. And in fact, I kind of wish that the setting they'd gone for with this was a bit more like X, just because it's like such an interesting, sort of new modern mecha based thing. So I really, really love that game. That also got I think that got a full port actually to Switch to, as opposed to a patch. So in fact, maybe start Chronicles X because it's just a really cool game.
Okay, I'll do that eventually because it takes me a long time to get through anything. Okay, James subscribing over on Twitch as well. Thank you for that. It is very helpful if you've got Amazon Prime and stuff and you've got a subscription sitting around. It does help to dump those on the channel. Everything keeps it running. So, okay, that's most of what I wanted to talk about from the Nintendo Direct. But does anybody else have anything more, including people that are just here, like in chat with us? Anything that you want to shout out that caught your attention from the Nintendo Direct before we move on to the next little topic? Anything from you three?
There's a quick one. There is the Dusk Bloods.
We only got a little teaser for it, didn't we? So yeah, let's talk about Dusk Bloods because everybody loves FromSoft apart from Craig, who hates everything that they've done as well. But we like Elden Ring, we like Bloodborne and Demon Souls and Dark Souls. Duskblood, Luke, interesting to you or not fussed about a multiplayer game?
Probably the latter. Love the art style that they're going for with this, and that element of it. Not that interested in multiplayer from software, to be honest.
Yeah, it makes it kind of that little bit disappointing, doesn't it? Because it was the same for me for Elden Ring. Night Rain was like, I really like Elden Ring, but that doesn't do it for me at all. Like you, I really like the style and setting of this one. It's got the FromSoft like vibe about it, but then it's a multiplayer game with preset characters and blah 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 blah. Just you never know. Maybe it'll be great, but yeah, I'm kind of hoping to get their next proper game rather than that. What else have we got? Dustbloods. Amine, did you have more?
There is the Nintendo Switch Sports Resort. I saw the tennis game, and I was like, is it going to have proper multiplayer where I can play with Asa? But I doubt it.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't know how much of a focus like online is with these things, because these are the classic like kill you down at Christmas by making a overexert yourself kind of experiences, right? Maybe it does have a full online mode, but with Nintendo, you wouldn't trust it to actually work and let you play with your friends. Shit, there's stuff happening. James, thank you for subbing on Twitch. I've lost the message that went with it. Isla told me to shut up and take her money after 60 months subscribed over on Twitch. Who knew that Twitch channel had even been there for 60 months? But it has. And so she said, thanks for that. Yes.
Can I just say my favorite bit of the whole direct was the 5-minute deep dive into the thumb wrestling bit of Sports Resort. Yeah, they did. Yeah. They showed off the game. They announced the game. They showed they ran through all the games within the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, okay, like we've done that. That's nice. But then they went straight into literally demoing how you play thumb wrestling in the game for about 3 minutes.
Please do the same. Spend 3 minutes and explain to me how this works.
No.
I see it on screen. Thumb wrestling is a tactile game, you've got someone's thumb there, you can feel it, you've got the little battle of force and will. How does it work?
The thing that makes me laugh more than anything is not necessarily even the breakdown, like the breakdown of thumb wrestling, like the most universal, stupid, like school playground game in the world, probably. Like, everybody knows, like, we don't need an explanation. It's not that. It's the fact that they built a thumb wrestling game into the game. Can't you just turn around to the person, like anyone around you, and just play real thumb wrestling? Like, I thought video games were escapism. Why have you put thumb wrestling in your game about, like, you know, and I know you can go and play like tennis or skateboard or do whatever, any of these, but they're like much more difficult to do, like, and just pick up than just literally going, do you want to play thumb wrestling? It's just the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. So that sealed the directors mostly shit for me, because I was like, they've just not really got that much to show from a first party perspective at the minute, apart from like some of the bigger stuff that they had. But it was just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Okay, but so your overall though was like, didn't the directorship because it had thumb wrestling?
Well, it was a big part. I think it was just it wasn't a great, apart from Ocarina, I would say, it wasn't a great direct if you were looking for first party Nintendo. If for some reason your only console is a Switch 2, I think it was a fantastic direct because they had so much big third party stuff in there. But I'm never going to play any of those games on a Nintendo Switch 2. Yeah. So if all you were interested in, which is most people are just interested in what a Nintendo themselves showing, what's exclusive to the platform, I don't think it was that good a show at all.
Fair enough. Craig, you've already said you hated it. Didn't have Kirby, didn't have Pokemon.
Yeah, I agree.
They're the only things you like.
Yeah, Pokemon, Kirby, Mario, they had Zelda, Ocarina of Time, so that redeemed themselves at the end. But otherwise, yeah, not a fantastic showing.
Okay, and Amine?
For me.
I think it was... I did not even watch it. Like, after it finished, I just looked at what games got announced and looked at whatever I was interested in.
That's how I consume most showcases.
I usually watch them all, but this one I was not like very interested, I would say. I'm interested just in the 2 games that are exclusive for them, which is Zelda Ocarina of Time and Orbitals, I believe, is also exclusive. And that's all.
It's funny, like the whole third party thing, historically, I would always say, like, I'd never care for a third party game on a Nintendo console because it's the last place that would ever play one of those, a multi-platform game. But the more all the other hardware goes up in price, and Switch has gone up in price as well, but the more the hardware becomes unobtainable for people, the more relevant these things seem on the Switch, even if I won't play on them myself. Kind of matters that they get decent ports for third party things, because for a lot of people it probably will end up being possibly the best choice of console for its affordability. It's weird because Nintendo got pretty lucky with the Switch having, like, nobody's lucky to have the whole COVID pandemic and all the rest of it, but it did wonderful things in terms of Animal Crossing and pushing that device beyond where it would be otherwise. And now they've got a hardware crisis that's leaving the Switch 2 kind of favorably positioned as well. So what a lucky company, eh? What a lucky company. Let's move on though to a less lucky company, or a company that makes their own problems. We're going to talk about the Xbox Showcase, but we're going to sandwich in the other bit of news before we do. So in a rather unusual step, we had the fanfare around the showcase and lots of positive messages from Xbox and lots of interviews and lots of direct conversations with fans and all the rest of it. A whole load of positivity across social media around the brand and all the rest of it. But also a little inkling of a warning that the next 100 days might be a little bit different. Couple of days after all of that kind of died down and conversation stopped, Asher Sharma sent, or the Xbox leadership sent across the staff, so an internal message about what's next for the next 100 days of Xbox. And they made the unusual decision to also publicly share the same message. So the message that went out internally to warn everybody about some hard changes coming at Xbox and a resetting of the brand and potentially negative things around it and reasons behind it, problems that they've got with margins, problems that they've got with Game Pass subscriptions, problems that they've got this, that and the other. Went very public. They shared it. They were very open. They told everybody this is happening. This is why we've got to do difficult things over the next 100 days. Luke.
Yeah.
What's the kind of key takeaways? What do you see going on at Xbox? Were you surprised that this message came out? Is it a candid message? Is there stuff to read between the lines? Like, what's happening? It's a lot.
I was a bit. Yeah, it's a lot. I was quite surprised by it. Like when I opened my phone and saw it for the first time, because only Microsoft could have like only Xbox could have such a strong showing and then immediately follow it up with like some of the like worst possible news and premonitions, in the industry. So I am very surprised that they followed it up so quickly. Maybe that was deliberate to capitalize on like the goodwill that they got from the show, to be like, okay, we'll give you a bit of bad news now because you'll be more primed for it, perhaps. So it just does not sound. My biggest takeaway clearly is that layoffs are coming, and they sound pretty sweeping to me. It sounds pretty brutal. And I think a lot of what Sharma was talking about is basically a primer for we are going to make some pretty drastic changes, i.e. cuts. So it makes me really fear for a number of studios in that portfolio that historically, when they were bought, were never going to create lots of profit necessarily. Like they might create a bit, but they would be good. They would be like prestige studios almost, good for the brand, good for, putting more games into the ecosystem, good for Game Pass, all that sort of stuff, even if they were not necessarily huge profitable games. And now I'm pretty worried about quite a few of those. That's kind of mingled in with like a thing that's better news almost in a way, which is around like they want to focus on some of their bigger IP. So obviously if you're looking like, that's good in a way, but it's caveated by the fact that they're going to focus on that and they're going to fuck off like a lot of their more interesting, diverse IP, or like some of their studios that are creating that stuff. And so it's a bit of a catch-22 when it comes to that. It's good, and it could be good for Xbox, but it's not good necessarily for one of the thing that they've been very strong at the last few years, which is the diversity of their experiences. So there's a lot more stuff in that memo, but those were kind of my main takeaways from it. So quite ominous, I thought.
Yeah, it's weird as well because I feel like I've been like a little bit of a broken record over the last like 3 years or so. Whenever Xbox have had a game that was a little more niche, like a Hellblade 2 or a South of Midnight, I've said so often that I'm really grateful that Microsoft are willing to fund these less usual titles that nobody else would be funding, and that I wasn't sure how long that could go on for because it's commercially not necessarily sensible. But as someone that plays games, I love that about them, that things that wouldn't otherwise get a chance are actually funded and come to market. And it gives me things that are entirely different to play. It's one of possibly my single favorite, like kind of redeeming feature of the giant corporation that is Microsoft for me, was that they were funding these kind of games that you wouldn't expect elsewhere. That's being taken away. It was unusual to see them kind of exposed to everybody how much trouble Xbox as a brand, as a platform, as a division of Microsoft has actually been facing, because you could kind of sense it, but it wasn't spoken aloud by Xbox in particular, and it wasn't acknowledged by most people that kind of follow and comment on them as a company, as a brand. Like we had conversations for years about what a wonderful position Game Pass is actually in, because Microsoft would tell you through gritted teeth that it's sustainable and profitable and doing really well. And then you get a look at the numbers and the position and the direction, the trajectory of the company not being so healthy, and the reasoning behind the changes that they need to make. And it was an eye-opener. Craig.
Yeah.
You've presumably seen some of this. What did you take from it?
What did I take from it? I actually wanted to get Luke's opinion on the notion of them spinning off, but I mean we're not there yet. We're not talking about potentially spinning off. But Asher's memo, yeah, I mean, I like coming across from Xbox console to PC. I use the Xbox PC app, use it for Game Pass, play little games like Kill, and then you mentioned South of Midnight. And they're great. They're great that they exist. And then I was thinking about it earlier. I thought, well, if it wasn't for Game Pass, you wouldn't play them. But then they wouldn't exist at all because they're not going to make a profit. So, but then they're going to close a studio now, potentially. Loads of layoffs. What does it mean for the smaller games at Xbox? The little indie darlings.
Yeah, and they have come up. They've been pretty upfront that they're going to be refocusing their spend. One of the positives to take away from it is there is a lot of mention of spend. Like there is still a commitment to fund things, which there wouldn't necessarily be. So they have said, like Luke said, they're going to focus on Fallout and Elder Scrolls and Halo, like putting the money into the established IP and building and growing those. There is like a positive side to that because we do like those games. I think, I think between the four of us and everyone here, probably.
Will they let that prop up the smaller projects that potentially might not go anywhere?
They've said they're cutting down on the other things and focusing the spending on these pillars, and they are looking at potentially like more acquisitions and things like that if it makes sense for them. Not studios, because that wouldn't make any sense right now, but they are looking at continued investment in Xbox rather than scaling it back as such. They're scaling Xbox back. This is very convoluted to make the distinction in messaging, but there is still a commitment to trying to fix it, as it were. We can talk the thing that you mentioned about spinning the company off and all the rest of it. We will get to that in a minute. But first, Amine.
Yeah. So
what were your thoughts when this
So you said that you were like surprised on how they shared this information and how bad it is. I feel like this is like preparing, like they are trying to say we're fucked. Don't be surprised if we are going to fire a lot of people. We're like screwed. We don't have a choice. And it's so like they have like they said that for such a big company to have like 3% accountability margin, that's down year over year. That's like you're make the smallest mistake and you will be like on the red. Like you will be making negative money. So like I feel like there was small studios, like you guys said, they were bought mostly to pump some like games into like into Game Pass, but I don't think they can continue having them. Sadly, I know, but I feel like every studio that did not show up at the Xbox showcase this last week, and the ones that have finished their projects recently, they are at risk. So yeah, and the other thing that they have is they are probably losing so much money on the hardware. Like they say that it doubled and then it doubled and then it doubled again, the price of the storage prices. So I feel like that's Helix gonna be very expensive. And they will probably increase the price. I think that's a signal that they will increase the price again, like very, very soon. Especially since I think they are not making them at a large quantity, so they are going like week by week, surviving like how much like it's not exactly week by week, but they are making like a small quantity and then
so they said a couple of things on that, didn't they? They said, like you said there, they said the price has gone up, like it doubled and then it went up another bunch, and apparently since like since 2022, maybe the price of the console for them has gone up to about 5 times what it was, or price of certain components has gone up by that amount. They also said, though, that at the moment they can't make them fast enough to meet demand. Like, people do want this console, people are buying it faster than they can make it. So that's, again, like somewhat positive for them, I suppose.
But how much are you making? Like, if you're making just a little bit,
No, I know.
then you will sell out quickly.
Yeah, but it's better than the reverse situation where nobody wants the console. So they are still like, now that it's all written in capitals and they've got a green logo, some people do want to buy the thing. So, you know, everything's golden, it's working, future's bright, and all of that kind of stuff.
It is the worst time to have a crisis on hardware. Like, you have GTA 6 coming out in November. People want to buy consoles at that time.
They did
It's
also
the worst time.
take the opportunity to shift some of the blame as well, to try and saddle the previous leadership and say it's their fault, because they did point out it's as a result of decisions that they've made over the last 5 years, they've been impacted more than their competitors, more than Sony and Nintendo and all the rest of it, which is weird, because if you look at that kind of landscape between like Xbox, Sony, Nintendo, you'd think Xbox should be in the best position to weather the storm, because they have that focus on Game Pass and because they have the cloud in the background and all the rest of it. But they're saying no, they've been hit harder than everybody else because Phil Spencer fucked up, is what they said without naming names. There's quite a lot of interesting stuff to be taken from this little memo.
The thing about the cloud is that Jez Gordon always says that every cloud blade is essentially a Series X running in the cloud, isn't it? So the bigger the Met cloud, they still need the hardware, the same hardware that they would sell at retail. Yeah.
And they've got the added contention in that it's more directly positioned against, like, this is a data center, it could be doing AI stuff for us. Why are we putting Xbox cloud blades in there or whatever? So cloud isn't a simple, like, silver bullet answer to the problem either. But
yeah, it's not optimal that they are like, they have to have like the same blade as like the regular console. Like
it is optimal.
GeForce Now, like, they use, whenever you're not streaming, they use that hardware to actually do AI workload. So they probably will benefit in the future in like when Helix is more like a PC. I'm guessing that they can stream it more easily. Like, they can use any hardware to stream like Xbox games to anybody, and then use whenever that downtime is, like, they use it for AI and other workloads.
So, I had something else that I've just forgotten. Helix also comes up in conversation through this memo. Luke, I'll get you in on this again, because of course you've been sitting nice and quietly. They mentioned some rethinking on Helix. They're still committed to it. They're still saying that it's going to be this PC console. Like, Helix is what we know it to be. But at the same time, they're having conversations on affordability. They're rethinking certain parts of the strategy. They're considering partnerships and new ways to bring it to market. It's quite difficult to guess what they have in mind there. But what do you think all of that means?
It is quite difficult to know what they mean by it. I assume they mean they want to enter into like partnerships with other manufacturers to basically license out Helix as a console or as a piece of hardware that they can make, and, you know, almost like split the cost of manufacturing that with someone else, and you know, therefore splitting the loss almost, or not necessarily the loss, but like if they can turn a profit on it, then splitting the profit, that might be better for them, because it means that they don't have to manufacture these in-house as much, and they can still get people into the ecosystem potentially. The problem with that is manufacturing is expensive for everyone, so it doesn't really matter who they partner with. Like, they're going to have the exact same problem. I mean, maybe it's better if you do split the costs between Microsoft and someone else, like a Lenovo, for example. But you could also potentially make different variants of that platform. So you could make a weaker version or a strong version, and you could scale up or down the cost accordingly. But they're just in they're in a real pickle with their hardware stuff at the moment, because it's just not a great market to bring hardware to. As this memo shows, when they talk very candidly about how high component costs have gone up for them, for storage as an example. So I think that's what they probably mean anyway by that. But I don't know how in practice what does that look like? I've got nobody's ever done that before in the console space. So what does it look like? I don't know.
No, like it's really easy to look at like the Asus handheld and say that's what a partnership looks like, but that's not a partnership that brings prices down for us as consumers, which is what they need to do. They're again very open about that the issue is that they can't sell the thing if it costs as much as it's looking like it's going to cost. I think Matthew Ball also specifically did talk about scalable hardware more so than we've seen before, which is that's been a bit of a kind of hot button across Xbox anyway, because a lot of their kind of core fan base really bemoaned the existence of the Series S. And now we're talking about potentially even more scalability of hardware going into the next generation, so that you can have essentially a lower end, cheaper kind of baseline model. And then who knows what level of customization beyond there to take it more powerful. But then it's difficult, because that kind of still makes a lot of sense for them as the PC company that they are, to have a lot of flexibility in hardware, doesn't it? So, Craig, what are your general thoughts on like the previous strategies, so having a Series X and a Series S? Do you think that the next gen Helix should follow a similar kind of model? Do you think they should pick a high-end spec and stick with it? Like, what's your
I didn't think the Series S was a bad strategy. I thought the idea was sound. If you've got somebody with a PS5 that's not going to make the jump, but that would be a good secondary console for them. But that kind of relied on having exclusives, didn't it? That why would they want to buy a Series S? What was the benefit of that apart from Game Pass? But when they could just buy them games on PlayStation now because they're not exclusive. So now they're moving back to exclusives. Maybe having a low-end hardware isn't a bad idea, but they'd have to be really careful about the minimum specs. How much RAM did the Series S have that everybody always complained about?
It's like, I can't actually remember the hardware spec. It's 8 gigs that's addressable in a game, and it had like 10 or 12 altogether,
Yeah, so there just need to be... So just pick a baseline that's not going to hamper everything, which even then though it's still going to be expensive, isn't it? But if it's going to be more PC like, is there more opportunity to run it up and down the spec sheet? Could they make it upgradable? I don't know, because we don't know what it looks like.
Nobody does yet. What do you reckon, Amine?
I don't know, like, are they going to like make it very much like a PC where they sell you the hardware? One, they probably will sell you the hardware without a controller. Two is, I think maybe they will offer hardware without even RAM or storage, something like that, and you can plug in your RAM or storage right there. That's one possibility. Like, you can choose your... But I don't know how that would work in a console. Like, you will not have a guarantee. Like, when you market a game, like, you will not have the guarantee that this game will just work for you, because that's what a console is. Like, when you see the game, it will just work for you.
You're kind of, but so one thing that we do know about Helix, one way or the other, is it's going to be a PC as well, right? So they're saying they're committing to the baseline, the back compatibility across the console library, but you can do that with a certain minimum spec that's probably not too ambitious. And the games going forwards that are made for that generation, that are made for Helix, they're essentially going to be PC games. So maybe we really should start thinking about this next console as just being a PC with a good back compat layer for old Xbox games, in which case it adds credence to the talk that's going around social media and all the rest of it, that perhaps the long-term plan, and we can, this is going to your point, Craig, about spinning them off and all the rest of it, but perhaps the long-term plan is more of a merge of Xbox into Windows, is more Microsoft leaning on what they are actually good at, where they are dominant. Maybe Xbox is just going to become consumed in the Windows ecosystem. Luke, in terms of the conversations that Craig was alluding to, the speculation around Microsoft kind of balling up Xbox so that they could potentially spin it off or sell it or run it like they do LinkedIn and GitHub, or just make it more part of their broader Windows ecosystem. Is this talk, is it crazy talk, or are these things that might be going on in the background?
I mean, they seem to be real. I think it came from a pretty good source, which is the information. So, and they weren't, they're not decisions that have been made. I think they're just things that are being mused about what are some potential ways to turn that, that bit of Microsoft being Xbox around. It's very interesting. The way that it operates at the moment, Xbox, is it's a segment within the Microsoft business, the broader Microsoft business. So it's actually a segment within a segment. So it's I think it sits within the business segment in Microsoft called more personal computing. So it sits next to Windows and Surface and all that stuff. And it is a line item in that, in terms of when it's reported on, in terms of financials. So it impacts, Xbox doing well, or Xbox doing badly can be a big drag on that segment if it does particularly badly. Equally, if it does well, it will bump up the numbers there. But how it one of the things that they're using is making it more like LinkedIn or GitHub, which are wholly owned subsidiaries of Microsoft, and they are more independent by virtue of being that. They've got kind of the legal wrapper around them of being separate corporate entities, right? And then therefore they have their own boards and they have their own proper CEOs that act, on top of those boards. And so that has a benefit, because obviously it means that it has a benefit in a couple of different ways. From a broader Microsoft perspective, they might like that, because if Xbox do shit, it's not a drag on other segments of the business. It's sort of its own thing over here. Mm-hmm. It also means that they're insulated from that thing doing not well, potentially. It's beneficial. It could be beneficial for Xbox, because it means that they get far more autonomy about what they do, with an asterisk next to that. But they get more autonomy about the decisions they make and what they want to invest in. And obviously, they're more self-reliant, self-sufficient. They have to rely on their own revenue. They're not as propped up as they are now. They're still not real. They still really wouldn't be independent as such. They still exist within the Microsoft group. So they're still acting in the best interests of Microsoft and of the wider shareholders of Microsoft. But it would mean maybe that they don't have Satya and Amy Hood breathing down their necks quite as much. So that might be beneficial in terms of their ability to be agile and maneuver themselves in such a way. And then, the wide, it's interesting, because I day to day I work on quite a few of exactly this sort of stuff. But usually it is one of the biggest benefits to it. I'm not saying this will happen here, but it has been floated, and it is a genuine benefit to it, is that it makes that business much more sellable. If you want to divest of it in the future, you've got all your assets, or everything to do with that business is in one big bucket, like a little group of companies. And if you want to get rid of it, then it's much easier to do that. And I'm by no means saying that Microsoft are wanting to do that, but it is a thing that companies do tend to do when they want a business to improve, but with a mind to, well, if it does get a lot better for that business, it's something we could actually make a ton of money off of and people would be interested. but I don't see who would be like who would have the capital to buy like the Xbox business. You know what I mean? If you think about that's comprised of Xbox, ABK, Bethesda, like that is a huge, that's probably 120, 150 billion dollars, something like that, maybe more. So there aren't really many players that would be that interested in doing that. Apart from
I know a
maybe
newly minted trillionaire that likes the letter
Oh
S.
yeah, he might be interested. Fucking Lord help us if that happens. But so yeah, so I think it's very interesting that they're talking about this, but remains to be seen what they'll do exactly. I think these are just pie in the sky. Let's have a think about things we could do. Maybe this could help the business of Xbox.
Does something like this result, like you're forced to do layoffs if you do like a subsidiary, something like this? I don't know.
Never give them that grace and leeway. They're not forced to do layoffs. No.
Yeah. No. I mean, they're going to do layoffs before this. They're going to do layoffs in like a month or two, basically. So they're going to do those anyway. I suppose if it did happen and they became like a wholly owned subsidiary, like it's kind of separate to Microsoft, but still within Microsoft. The only difference that would make in terms of layoff is they would have more autonomy over whether to do layoffs or not, right? Because I think historically, certainly if you look at the musing was for the last big layoffs they did last year with the initiative and all that, there was sort of a Microsoft mandate of we need to be stripping down our businesses a bit because actually we're investing so much in other areas of the business, i.e. AI, that it's good to do that. And I think there's a mandate across the segments then to, we're not going to tell you how to do this, but we want you to make some efficiency savings and off you go. There wouldn't be quite the same thing that would happen in the future. But in a way, that would kind of make it worse, because if there were layoffs, it would be very much the decision of people, like Sharma and Matt Booty and stuff. Like it would be way more in their control to do those things at that time. So, and obviously they might technically be more pressured into doing layoffs in that scenario if their business is not, if Xbox is not performing well, because then they don't have the same prop up as they do now with kind of being integrated more into Microsoft's business.
For me, it's also it's a bit of a shame that all of the decisions around Helix and around the PlayStation 6 and all the rest of it are all being taken in light of terrible temporary circumstances in terms of component shortages and stuff, because it is going to dictate the hardware that we have available for another like 8-10 years or so, all based on an AI craze that's hopefully going to burst within the very early phases of that generation. But here's what it is. Okay, let's move on from the gloom around Xbox, as I'm still slightly like optimistic as well. We're going to get more Halo and Fallout and Elder Scrolls. Hopefully we're going to get good quality Elder Scrolls, and they're not going to ruin Elder Scrolls 6 by saying we need it out by next week or whatever. But there's some positives. Maybe they can turn it around, maybe they can compete, maybe things get better and we keep getting good games. It's not like we're short on the men away, so it'll be okay. Let's talk about, right before all of this happened, they put out a pretty damn strong showcase of good games that we can look forward to in the near term. So let's talk about the Xbox showcase that we had. Craig.
Yeah.
Pick a highlight from the Xbox showcase, or from the showcase. They did the Gears E-Day thing afterwards. They did Fable. They've done some bits and pieces after the fact as well. From across the week, pick a highlight, something you want to talk about.
My highlight's Fable. I was gutted when it got delayed, but I understand why. So it is what it is. But yeah, my highlight's Fable.
No, don't just say that and then stop. Keep talking about Fable.
No, I was reading Isla talking about the Purple Dragon, talking about Spyro. Because Spyro's a pretty high point as well. But no, because Fable, I was excited about Fable coming back anyway, and the fact that it's God, I should know what they call it. Remind me, the studio. What's it called? Playground games. It's like everybody says, isn't it? It's weird that that an engine that was built for a racing game that they're going to tackle this, but the world that those racing games are, that they build, the way that they look, I just thought if that could carry over to Fable, and then everything we see about it looks great. That 30-minute breakdown of just them focusing on a few relationships in a village, one village of the whole game. They spoke to a few people, and yeah, it's just something that I want to get lost in. It's gonna be massive. Hope for the caliber of the actors that they've got in it. You know, there's Richard Ayoade in it, all strong, you know, British comedian. There's what's the woman called that's the big bad? Hayley Atwell, that was Captain Britain, wasn't she, in the Avengers?
Big Peggy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it. I think it looks stunning. I think the mechanics look great. I know people were criticising they don't think they've gone far enough with the way that it works. You know, you don't grow devil horns and you don't grow a halo anymore, but yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Okay, Fable. Amine, you love Fable.
I don't love Fable, but
why not?
I like the first one a little bit. But yeah, I think Fable looks good, but it's not like something that I'm like super looking forward to playing. I will play it when it comes. Like that's my feeling about it. It's on Game Pass. Even if it was not on Game Pass, I might buy it if when it comes to that. But I think it looks good. I'm surprised how much depth they have in that life simulator stuff. Like you can buy like houses and you can charge them rent and you can do all kinds of stuff and the world react to you and you can hire people and they don't just teleport to a place or they stay in a place. That's detail of like they hired a beggar and that beggar did not like just stay there and suddenly appear in the pub as one of the workers. He walked to he got up and walked into the pub. Like that level of detail is good, even though that I'm not going maybe to spend a lot of time in that life sim feature. But I like the details. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Luke, you're more of a Fable fan, right?
Except for 3.
Except for 3, but
no.
Talk to me.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what they showed of Fable and what you're thinking of it.
I think it continues to look brilliant to me. I think it's very, faithful generally to what Fable is, and they are clearly. It's clearly very ambitious, I think, in terms of what they want to do with the game, with the life sim stuff, which was in Fable 1 a tiny bit. It was expanded more in Fable 2, but this looks way more in depth than that, like way more systemic than that was. And then they've got, just the world looks amazing and the great cast. So I'm just really excited for it. I just think it's going to be terrific. We waited a long, long time for it, but I think it's looking now like it should be able to deliver what people have been looking for. So, and I'm fine with, I would have liked to have played it this year, but I'm fine with it being delayed if it means the game is very successful, basically.
So, you mentioned there, or Amine mentioned, maybe nobody mentioned, but it doesn't have the horns and halos of the previous Fable, which was kind of a signature feature. Is when you talk to people about previous Fables, it's one of the things that is most memorable. It jumps out the most, and you could say possibly because it was even featured on the cover art, right? It was quite central to the game. For me, I always say I preferred all of the various other ways that you could morph your character based on your playstyle. But the Horns and Halos were the one that stood out to other people. Do you think they've made the right decision to kind of cut that and focus on the life sims and the depths of relationships more so, or would you have liked to have seen that?
I really did enjoy that element of the original Fables, but I understand the rationale that they're giving about why it's a bit flawed now, and especially in the fact that they've got this system where, you know, it's heavily expanded and more simmy than it was in the originals, where, you know, people might, it's not black and white, right? And so trying to if it's not black and white, trying to do like the same visual changes that you did before just doesn't work. It doesn't work in that system if there's more morally grey areas and there's more like diversity of opinion about what you do in the game. So I did really like that system, but I'm totally okay with them removing it if it's more in depth in terms of morality, which it appears to be. So I do understand why that's changed. And for me, like, it wasn't the most important part of the original Fable 1 and 2 in particular. Like the funner bit was the bit they're focusing on, like messing with people, like seeing what you can do to like change how people react to you and like push and prod at the game systems and see what happens. Like that was way more interesting to me than the visual changes. So long as you still got pretty decent customization about your character in terms of appearance and all that sort of stuff, then which I think it does, then I'm fine with that.
See, I don't begrudge them the changes that they've made. I think with the way that everything is so much higher fidelity in terms of motion capture and all the rest of it, it would be very difficult to make certain changes that I want. But I would absolutely love to have seen not the good evil, not the morality stuff. I don't really care about the horns and the halo. That was always like more on the silly side. But I really enjoyed like, oh, you've been using a heavy weapon, you're strong now. People react to your build being different. Like, you've not been going out in the daytime, you look pasty, let's have people react to that. You've been eating like too many pies, let's have people react to that. And that kind of side of things, I think would have fit really well in what they are delivering now. But it would have been a hell of an undertaking as well. Probably would have put another 3 years on the development time to get it to match up to the kind of depth that they've got in these other systems. So I understand, but I'll always be a little bit sad that that's not there, because it was one of my favorite elements of that game that hasn't carried over to many other games very well, and needs to. Craig.
Yep.
Are you good or evil?
No, I'm that moral grey area that floats around in between.
Okay. Tell me about Fable. You were the one that mentioned it as your highlight of the show. I've got no questions, actually. I did end.
No, I don't know that there's anything else to say. Just, it looks fantastic. I like the look of what they're doing with it. Luke hit the nail on the head there with the morality system, that everything's a grey area. There is no good or bad necessarily. Obviously, there's objectively good things you can do and objectively bad things you can do, but yeah. The whole game doesn't need to see you as that. You could decimate a village and burn it to the ground, but then when you travel to the other side of the map, they don't know that, do they? You could be nice as pie over there. Yeah. You don't need to rock up with devil horns.
Yeah, fair enough. Amine.
Yeah.
Pick a game. Pick a highlight for you.
I was going to say something about Fable,
but you don't know anything about it. Yeah, go on then. Do it.
Just the moral thing. I agree with all of you. Like, I understand that it doesn't make sense since like each person, you're good or evil for them, and not like for everybody as a collective. And also, I would not see it. I cannot imagine it. Like the changes, the physical changes with this sort of fidelity. Like, if it was cartoony, it would be easy to do, but with this type of realistic graphics, it's very hard to do. I would like to have, I don't know if they will have it, probably not. I like when you get buffed and all of that, like in GTA San Andreas, and I think Fable 1 had it, because you need to get like very buff to get one sword. But Yeah, that's Fable. Should I pick the next game? You
Yes.
said. I will pick something. What is it? Resonance: A Plague Tale
What?
Legacy. I think
Okay.
No, let's talk
you know
about
it.
Go for
You,
it. I was
you
just
don't
taking
like that?
no, I said let's because it's. Don't you think? I just didn't realise that it was a Plague Tale game because it looked nothing like the first two Plague Tale games.
That's why I picked it.
Yeah, like all of a sudden there's all these. I mean, I know he could control the rats, but where's all these superpowers come from? Like, what's happening?
I don't think there are superpowers, but like
Are they not?
I picked it. No, I don't. I don't know, but it seemed more like Prince of Persia with a little bit of Arkham style combat because I saw some flashes of yellow when you counter enemies and you need to dodge and all of that, and it looked incredible. I played the Plague Tale, and I'm a fan of like. Stealth in games, but I did not like the stealth in Plague Tale. Um, when I like stealth, I like to take out my enemies with like a silencer or something like that. But I like the looks of this game. It was a big surprise that they are doing like combat, action, heavy combats, and it looks amazing. I think the combat in it.
Okay. Luke,
So you like it, Asa?
I
You
don't.
like it?
No, I don't think that the combat looked particularly amazing. I like the cinematic style. It's obviously very high fidelity. The Plague Tale games looked good as well, visually. This one looks good. I'm not ready to say that I'm looking forward to that one yet. I need to see more and see how it actually lands. Because to me, I didn't think the combat did look like it stood out from like Echoes of the End, even like other games of that ilk. Which is not, it's neither damning nor endorsing. I just need to see more of it. And graphics alone are not going to sell me on that one because I haven't played the first two Plague Tale games because those were stealth focused and I don't like stealth. So it's going to need to do a lot to get me to try a series that I'm kind of outside of, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Luke, what do you think of like Plague Tale in general and this new one? What do you think of them?
Yeah, a really big fan of Innocence, and then I never finished Requiem. I got about halfway through it, and I got distracted by some other stuff, and it kept getting pushed out until I just like dropped it. Like I never came properly back to it, which was a bit annoying because the first half I played, I loved. But yeah, I'm more on Amine's side
You're not
here,
a moron.
which is
Come on.
which I think this looks really, really good. And I was very impressed by it. The showing in the showcase anyway. I like that they have gone more of the action part of action adventure because the other games were action adventure, but they didn't really have combat or like it wasn't anything like this. And I think Asolvo's engine is just like super impressive. So I think it looks like very impressive visually. The only thing I don't like about it, and there is some gameplay that IGN put out, is that the combat, whilst it looks fun, the animations are very jerky at the moment. They're not like, and part of that is that this isn't like a big AAA game. So it's a bit unfair to expect it to have like, motion matching and like stuff that makes it look very smooth and stuff in motion when you're doing combat. But it did look a bit staccato, a bit like sort of jerky, basically. But it's not released yet. Like we're a good few months away from it coming out anyway. So I think they can polish that anyway before it releases. But I really like the look of it. I really, really like the look of it, and I'm looking forward to playing it.
Okay, Craig.
Yeah. Is it on
Tale.
Game Pass? I'll play it.
Yeah.
It is on Game Pass, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair. Luke, pick a highlight. Anything you want.
Well, I mean, it's got to be season 20 of Sea of Thieves, hasn't it?
Yeah, the creator
really.
stuff in there. Okay, so serious note, Sea of Thieves, creative, whatever it is, creative Isles, I don't know. Do you like?
I don't actually. I don't have anything to. This was a joke pick. I don't have anything to say about it.
And generally, like one of the weaknesses for Microsoft shows every single time, pretty much the only weakness that people consistently pick out is that they'll always show Sea of Thieves, they'll always show Elder Scrolls Online, they'll always show Fallout 76, and nobody gives a fuck. Right? Lots of people do, I'm sure, that are playing them, but they're not the kind of people that are interested in the broader offering from Xbox. So nobody gives a fuck and nobody wants to see them. We did see them. And yeah, let's not talk about creative Seas then. Pick your real one that you want to talk about.
The one that, I mean, I don't know if it surprised me, but it was Senua from Ninja Theory. That was an interesting one for multiple reasons, I thought. I mean, there were rumors they were making Hellblade 3 anyway. So from that perspective, it wasn't a surprise. I'm surprised we saw it so quickly after Hellblade 2, but it feels like they spent so much time on Hellblade 2 and getting, used to UE5 that they're, and now the whole studio is on this game. Like they've kind of perfected the engine and, their use of the engine, so they're able to make a game in it quicker. So I guess that's why we've seen it. I'm not against like more Hellblade at all, and I think this looks really, really nice. I'm glad that they are making this a bit more action adventure-y, like less interactive movie experience compared to Hellblade 2, which I did enjoy, by the way. The only thing I would say is I'm kind of ready for I'm ready for them to be done with this IP now. Like, I think Ninja Theory are really talented, and it's not as if this series is super commercially successful anyway. Mm-hmm. So to get 3 games in it feels a bit redundant at this point. So I'm kind of just mixed on it, basically, because I think it looks really good, and I really like a more action adventure focused Hellblade. But please, can this be the last one? Because this team could make like some really cool other stuff. Is my point. But yeah, very, very nice. Comes out next year. Visually amazing. Combat looks good. Looking forward to it. But then let's move on.
It's funny because in the run-up, like well ahead of time before Hellblade 2 came out, people were making these kind of erroneous claims that it was Microsoft's answer to God of War, in that it was going to be that kind of action adventure, and it never was, and it never was intended to be. It was very much its own follow-up to Hellblade. This one,
they are small, right? They're a small studio, not
quite small. Big. But this one,
I think they're 100.
Like more along those lines, right? They have moved in that direction now. This is one where you could say this is competing, not necessarily on budget and scale, but in terms of what the game is, what it's trying to give you. It is now aligning with that kind of experience more so. Ninja Theory are very, very capable, but it made me wonder, what is the Hellblade from the first 2 games? Why was it called Hellblade? They've sat around and gone, you know what?
Maybe we'll find. In fact, you won't find out now, because they've got rid of it in this one. So they're like, you know what? Everyone knows what a Senua is, so we'll just call it that.
Craig, what did you think of the footage that we saw of this?
Yeah, I enjoyed the first 2 games. I did think it was going for that more God of War. Like you said, like people had thought that the second one was going to be their answer to. It's certainly moved more in that direction now, but. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I 100%ed the first 2, so I'll add this one to the total.
It's just like you held forwards for 6 hours, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. and didn't miss anything along the way, though. Like, critically, didn't miss anything.
Okay, good for you. Good for you. Amine, what did you reckon to it?
I'm on the same boat as Luke. I was surprised, maybe not in the good way. Like, I liked it 1 and 2, But I don't want more. Like, I don't want more Hellblade. Like, I don't feel like I want more, and especially combat. Like, it's decent, but I don't know if I would like to like play 10 hours of like Hellblade combat. I don't know. Like, maybe if they improve it. Apparently, they have different weapons now. There's throwables and. So I'm not sure about this game. Like I will try it because it is on Game Pass. I am surprised that they made it fast. Probably they are reusing assets and all of that, so that's good. But yeah, I'll try it, but I'm not super excited for it.
I reckon there's probably, like, obviously it's going to be pretty. We know they're a very talented studio. I reckon they'll probably nail the combat. They did like the DMC game that people didn't like thematically. They didn't like the characters, but the combat in it was good. They've got all of the people from that kind of era working on it, and I reckon they'll deliver something that is in its own right very, very impressive, very good, very fun to play. But it does feel a little bit weird because Hellblade took itself very seriously as like an exploration of mental health, and it is, like Luke said, it's a bit weird that it's still Hellblade and not something fresh. Like, make something fresh. I don't know. It seems weird that it's cinema, but go on.
Yeah. It also, I think it really dilutes the message of these games the more games you do in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's fair. Yeah.
That they were, the first game in particular, there was such a focus on this exploration of mental health, and Ninja Theory were very open about like bringing people in from the community, like as in, people who suffer from psychosis and other mental health conditions, and talking to them. And I'm sure they're still doing this stuff, but if you're doing a trilogy of these games, it just dilutes the impact of what the first game was to me. The second game, I completely understand why they did that and they wanted to explore more of it, but I'm just a bit sort of like, is there much more you can do in this franchise now? Like, is there really that much more storytelling you can do? And like, I just don't really understand that element. So so definitely looking forward to it, but yeah, just ready for them to do something else. And I think about like DMC, which I really like. I know it as a as a game, a Devil May Cry game, not like the best game, but just as an action game, terrific action game. And I think of like Heavenly Sword as well, which was a fantastic action game that they made for the PlayStation 3, and they could just do so much more interesting stuff at this point than another Senua game. Is my point. But
yeah, the Purgatory Dagger. We've had the Heavenly Sword and the Hellblade.
Yeah,
let's go exploring some Purgatory Daggers or something.
Yeah,
like I like DMC as well, and I know that they can do like hack and slash games, but I don't see them making like it won't, like, good combat will not fit in the narrative of Hellblade. Like, she struggles a lot. Like, she's not like a DMC going to do stylish moves on them, and it doesn't work. I cannot see the combat being so amazingly good.
I think it will be.
It's because it's grounded. It's a little bit grounded, I would say.
Yeah, she's not like a super amazing warrior, basically, deliberately so. So, like, as you say, it's like she's a bit clumsy, and which is cool, but as you say, it's not. I think the combat will be better than 2, but it's not going to be like young emo Dante.
Episode 13, like Craig asking for grounded. Okay, so that's Senua. Let's move on to. I mean, there was quite a bit of the showcase, wasn't there? And we probably won't cover all of them because we are running on a bit. But let's pick some more. Luke, I can't remember what I asked last time, so now I'll come to you. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I just picked. I mean, I'll pick another if people are happy, but
be greedy.
Okay. Why don't we talk about Gears?
Nah,
because that took up a lot of it.
Gears,
okay. Well,
E-Day.
Well, Crazy Taxi then. talk about crazy.
No, too late. We're doing Gears. It's fine. It was a fine choice.
Okay. Okay.
Go on then.
Look good, didn't it?
Innit?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
No, go on. I mean, you go. Yeah.
I was going to say like Gears actually looks good, but I expected more from it visually. I don't know.
I was gonna say something about that, so I'll let you say it. But I kind of know where you're coming from.
Yeah, I like expected it to be amazing. Like the coalition, like I was putting it in my mind. We are going to be mind blown with the visuals because they are the masters of UE5, and I'm like, it looks normal. It looks okay. It looks like it looks really good, but it's not mind blowing. I've seen like UE5 being used much better. Before, so I'm not sure. I like the combat, how it looks. Like I like that they don't zoom in the. They don't zoom in on the player when you're running. That's always I found that weird, and I did not like it. Like your character is like squatting and running. I also like that it is a bit more like well, it is E-Day though, so they show us like normal life, and then it's like all hell and apocalypse after that. But yeah, that's what I was going to say. But yeah, what do you think about it, Luke? What do you think about the graphics and all of that?
Did you want to say something else?
No, I've got the trailer now. This is one of these ones where I'm going to play Gears of War every day. I don't really want to see the trailer, so I literally haven't watched the trailer until now. And then Amine said that, and I was like, oh, I have to take a look and see what he's talking about now. I don't quite see what he's talking about, because particularly if they're showing like Series X footage, it looks kind of stunning. But look, you were saying that you see where it's coming from. You kind of like agree to some extent. So talk to me. What about it?
Yeah, so I had this, like, part of this is expectations management, right? I think, and I'm sure Amine will admit, like, that some of this is probably our fault, as in you're expecting something and then you don't get what's in your mind's eye. So when the gameplay demo came on for as the showcase started and it started going through, I was like, this looks really good, but I was expecting to be like jaw on the floor from a visual perspective, right? Now, part of that is not just the expectations thing, but I think this is a game that wherever games like have... sorry. That episode's getting really angry. So I'm so stunned by that. I can't remember where I was. Part of this is, games that have really high frequency detail, they do not show well or as well as they do when it's in front of you on a monitor being played natively. Because YouTube compresses so much stuff, you lose so much detail, right? A big example of this is, for example, Shadows, Assassin's Creed Shadows. Like, the pre-release footage for that looked good to great, but then once I had it in front of me on my monitor, like, I was absolutely blown away by how good it looked. Like, and it looks incredible. So sometimes it's that as well. So it's like a mixture of, like, my expectations were maybe too high, and then also that kind of YouTube compression and stuff. However, I thought when they showed there were like a number of scenes in the direct element that I thought looked incredibly good, like just stunning visually, like amongst the best we see in this generation. So, and I think part of that is that, the demo they showed at the beginning, it's at nighttime as well, and they tend to, like, you do lose detail when games are at night, and like you can't see as well, and then you've got YouTube laid on top of that, and you've got all this stuff. So the Direct did a far better job of showing it as like a technical showpiece. And I think when you think about what they're talking about with the game, that it's like 60 FPS and that it's 4K. I don't know if it's native 4K, but presumably it's fairly close. And that it's all hardware ray tracing, Loom and Nanite, like, and they've got all this destruction and stuff. It is like super, super impressive. And I'm sure, obviously, the PC version will look absolutely incredible, and I would expect them to support maybe even path tracing on PC. So it's not that it looks like bad. I just think that first gameplay demo did not meet the expectation I had in my mind, which is partly a me problem.
Yeah, me as well. And like, also I did not watch the showcase afterward because I thought like I had enough. I saw enough that I will play it. Like, it still looks really good. I just, my expectations were.
I'm sure I'll like when I load this up on a PC. I'm sure we'll both be absolutely blown away, and we'll come back and we'll say, episode, you were right. You were right. We're sorry. We're sorry.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Craig.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
To the point.
It's not Game Pass, I'll play it. I enjoy a bit of Gears. I like it.
Okay.
Also, it's impressive that it has split screen. So with these graphics and split screen, it's
very impressive.
Amazing.
I love the destruction in this as well. I think that's genuinely super impressive that they've got like this super detailed destruction going on, and then like all this chip damage stuff, and like that's really impressive stuff. So yeah, but you know, Wolverine looks better visually, so I'm joking, but
okay, cool. So that's Gears. From what I've seen of it, it looks phenomenal. Did anybody pick up on? I haven't, because like I said, I haven't watched it. But did anybody pick up on the differences to the look and feel, the gameplay of it, the movement differences between this and the ones we're familiar with? Does that not excite you at all? Or
I think that does. I think it. Go on, mate.
Go ahead, Luke. No. Go ahead. I talk too much.
So do I. I think that it's it still looks. I think the changes are good. Actually, it still looks like Gears. You know, it's still cover based, all that sort of stuff. But I do like that it's more fluid. That you can there's even lower cover now, and then you can slide, and you can, you know, kind of climb more fluidly than you have been able to before, and to higher surfaces. I think just making it more dynamic, like it's not Doom Eternal. You're not like, you know, fucking bouncing everywhere and flying across a map. But I do think the changes, while subtle, kind of add up to like a much more fluid, interesting gameplay experience. Obviously, there's only so much they can do, right? Because people expect Gears to be a certain way, so it's not as if you can change that wholeheartedly. But yeah, I quite like the changes, but it'll just depend on how it plays as well.
You know, for me, the just having different heights of cover is kind of massive for Gears of War visually, because it kind of started a trend that other games follow, including things like Last of Us have it as well, where you go into an environment and you see lots of cover height objects, and you're like, well, fairly clear what's going to happen here then. But yeah, it looks like a far more natural environment if you can take lower cover sometimes, if it's not all exactly hip height. Good. Good. Okay. So that's Gears. Everyone's looking forward to it. Everyone's excited. Everyone's going to play it. It's on Game Pass. We'll probably hit some community games because it has a new 12-player horde mode that should be good for a giggle. Craig, we'll do not too many more games because we'd probably run long enough. So pick. We'll go around once more. So Craig, pick something that's on your phone. Sorry if I've.
That's what I'm. No, you caught me just looking to find it. State of Decay 3, that was it.
Okay.
Because I saw a lot of potential in State of Decay 2. I jumped into it and played it a couple of times, but I never had anyone to jump on it with, and I think that's where I would have really sort of connected with it and enjoyed it more. You know, building out a little camp and going out and getting your resources and doing that side of it. So a new one, hopefully it's going to get a fair bit of attention. People will be on it. People in the Discord will be on it. We can get some people together and just generally kill some zombies. I think it looks good.
So State of Decay 2, like you say, I'm in the same position. Like, it looked kind of phenomenal in a lot of ways if you had a regular group of people to play it with. I think well ahead of this showcase, so we already knew this going into it, but ahead of this showcase, there was an expectation that the third one was going to be something different. to 1 and 2 that was going to expand on the multiplayer, that was going to potentially be like persistent online. I have more than 4 people. And then it turns out that actually it's structurally more similar to State of Decay 2 than we were expecting going in. But that was ahead of the showcase. Now, in the showcase, they've shown us some of it. Luke, liking what you've seen?
Yes, mostly. I think it looked better the more of the trailer played from a visual perspective. I mean, I think it looked a bit rough at the start, and then as it started going into more of it, I thought, okay, this looks fairly nice for Unreal 5. And I don't mind it being an expanded version of State of Decay 2 because I think that was a good game. And I particularly, obviously, the big thing about it is that there's no tethering anymore, which is really, really good for this sort of game. So I am looking forward to it. It has been in development for a long, long time now, and we're still a way off getting it as well. But I do want it to do well, and I will definitely play it. So, but it's not one of those games that I'm like, oh god, I can't. It's not a Fable or a Gears, even though Gears looks average visually. It's not one of those that I'm like, I must play this game soon. I'm just kind of like, when it hits, I'll definitely jump in.
Amine.
Yeah, I'm really interested in State of Decay. I was not expecting it to show at the showcase. I was expecting maybe next year, but I'm looking forward. Since it was announced, I'm looking forward to State of Decay 3. It's a little bit less than what I was expecting. Like, they showed those trailers with the deer and all of that, but they will not have any animal zombies or anything like
running
that.
theme with you. You dream big and then you're disappointed when it comes to the game.
They promised that. Like, they showed it. They showed it. I was keeping my expectations low, actually, for this showcase, and I'm happy that I did. But yeah, I will play it. I will play it. I want PvP, but I know they will not do it, and I want custom servers, and I don't think they will have custom servers for that as well.
Episode 13 just sold me on it because it reminded me the game features permadeath, and that's my kind of sadism. Like, yes, I will play this so that I can witness characters die and be gone forever. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to it. Right, okay. State of Decay, done. Amine, pick another one you want to talk about. Last chance.
Okay, is this the last one that I can
Luke's
pick?
got one as well, but this is your last one.
Oh, my last one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will... There are so many good games. Okay, I'll pick Magician, the Devil's Deal. Yeah.
Never heard
that
of it.
One looks really... Magicians, the
Devil's
Devil's
I know what you're talking
Deal.
about with the... Yeah, okay.
The one that looked a little bit like something Compulsion. Yeah, Compulsion would make. It looked, I don't know, a little bit... Yeah, it looks really good. It's I like the magic and hand gestures like they did with Ghostwire Tokyo and all of that. But this one looks really, really good. It was a big surprise for me. I liked it. I like an FPS game, and this has like a new flavor to it with cards and all of that thrown all over the place. So yeah, I'm surprised by this game. That's all I have to say. I'm not sure if it is on Game Pass.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, so that will be good. I'm not sure also if... I'm guessing it will be linear. It looks a bit like BioShock as well, I would say. I'm not sure if... yeah, so it just needs a good story, and it would be a really good game. That's what I would say.
Okay, fair. Craig, what did you reckon to it?
Yeah, I liked the look of it. Yeah, coming to Game Pass, we'll play it. What's that one that Amine's just played through recently? Dishonored. I thought, is it?
Yeah,
between those.
Yeah, it looks like that.
Yeah, strictly an art style. To say that it's anywhere near like Dishonored and BioShock, obviously those are quite high esteem that it's not necessarily earned yet. But yeah, it looks quite interesting. What do you reckon to it, Luke?
Yeah, I thought it was looked cool, really cool, very different. I like the concept, and yes, it did remind me as well of like a mix of like We Happy Few, and then like a BioShock.
Bring it down. That's it. That helps average it out.
But better than that. And a bit of BioShock, and that kind of a arcane-y feeling to it. I don't think it's immersive sim or anything like that, but it gave me those vibes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it looks cool, and I like the general concept behind it. So definitely one I'll be keeping an eye on that.
Okay. Well, that brings us to you, Luke. You get to pick another game for us to talk about.
I mean, there's a lot, isn't there? It's got to be DMC from Modern Warfare 4, I think. What we finished on,
oh god,
the big closer.
I'm not going to hold you to it.
No, please don't. I will go. Like this, I could pick Halo and stuff, but I think that's great anyway. So I'm looking forward to it. Maybe let's go with Clockwork, which they showed again.
Yeah.
Which continues to look really good to me. I think it just looks very cool. I love that it's steampunk and high budget steampunk in particular, because we don't really have anything like that. So I think the closest we got to something like that way back when was The Order. So to have that kind of, steampunky setting again, but RPG heavy and choice and consequence stuff, it just looks very cool to me. Very, very cool. So I'm really looking forward to it. Again, it's been in development for a long time, but I kind of forgive that because like it's very ambitious, and it's in Exile is like most ambitious game that they've ever done, and they had to scale up and they had to do UE5 for this, and like there's all this kind of layering of circumstance. So I think it looks super cool.
See, I forgive the time that it's taken for development, because Wasteland 3, brilliant as it was, had a hell of a lot of bugs and ways to break it. So yes, in Exile you need time, because you've got all of this choice and consequence and these divergent paths through any given area and all of these different situations, all these different character builds that they're gonna go into and reveal more of soon. Yes, they need time to explore all of the branches and make sure it doesn't collapse in on itself, which I never finished Wasteland 3 because it did collapse in on itself for us. But this one, hopefully, I loved that game for what we did play of it. This one looks brilliant. Not so much talking visually, like you mentioned The Order, and you could argue that in some ways The Order looks nicer than this, like in terms of cinematic presentation. But games have this kind of depth and breadth, they just don't trailer as well, which is fair dues. And yeah, I can't wait for it. It's one of my most anticipated across the suite of Xbox games. Not going to put it above Fable, but aside from that, yeah, right up there. Oh, I forgot Doom. Oh shit, I've already limited the games we can talk about. I'm not going to be allowed to mention Doom. Amine, what did you reckon to this one?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it. I never played an In Exile game before. They are like XCOM. They are like XCOM from what I understand, Wasteland and all of that, right?
No.
In that
not
really.
Kind of tactics, and that they have that perspective and that turn-based combat,
okay.
but I wouldn't say the games are similar beyond that.
Okay. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it because it's a shooter. It's steampunk. It has the a little bit of not, what should I say, the something like Singularity with the time travel bits and all of that. I miss that in like with not a lot of games do that these days. So yeah, I just don't want to see more of it anymore. I don't want to see just because I want to play it. I just want to play it.
It's falling into the what I like to call the Deathloop paradox, where the game looked great and they just kept fucking showing it every single PlayStation showcase, and to the point where you just wanted it to go away. So yeah, they need to just not show. Like next time you show it briefly, give me a release date, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Craig.
Yep, looks good. We'll be playing it. Don't know what else to say.
Fair enough. That's enough. That's all we need. So that Doom, eh?
Yeah.
That Doom, eh? So it's actually, I'm going to mention that as my one thing because it has across the showcase, the talk, and all the rest of it. It's gone quite under the radar in terms of response. Oh, do you know what? If I don't mention Spyro, they'll probably be held to pay as well. But Doom, it's gone quite under the radar because, like, way ahead of this, just in like background chat and noise, they did specifically say that the DLC that they're making for Doom is pretty much as big as a full Doom game. Right? They've gone all out to really deliver something big. And if you played Doom Eternal's DLC, you know that they do kind of take it serious in terms of scale and spectacle and really trying to deliver on a high budget experience, which is neat because it's more Doom. So I like Doom. I have a Doom tattoo on my chest. That's a secret. And I'm looking forward to playing more Doom. So anybody else looking forward to Doom?
Oh, never mind that. Let's see this tattoo.
No.
Come on.
Do it.
I will not.
Do you think they will do what they did with Eternal? Do you think it will be so difficult? Do you think they will go that route again? Because Dark Ages is kind of easy.
So Doom Eternal, one of the things that people took away from it was it did ramp up the difficulty, particularly in a way that wasn't necessarily as fun. So it's quite arena based Doom Eternal in that you go into an area and you have waves of enemies before you move on to the next one. It's done it's delivered in a quite natural way. But in Eternal, some of them just dragged a bit too long, and it did get a bit frustrating. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it a lot, Eternal. I don't think they'll make the same mistake with this DLC. I don't think the purpose of it is necessarily to layer on challenge. And I think the Dark Ages tried harder to have a story. I don't necessarily rate the story too highly, but it tried harder to be more of a character-driven and delivered story. So I think it will just be an expansion in that sense, rather than layering on difficulty. But we'll see. We'll see.
I like the spear.
You like the spear?
It's a spear with grappling hook. It has a grappling hook functionality.
Conceptually, I like the spear, but I don't like the idea of finger juggling if you have to start switching things in midair. Like you're grappling and you're switching to the shield and then you're grappling again. There's a lot to do mid-flight at pace. So we'll see on that, because Doom already had... if you were playing Doom well, if you were good at it, it had quite a weapon switchy sub-mechanic to maximize your damage. And if you're doing... Now you have to optimize both hands switching between whilst also shooting and flying and staying alive, then I don't know. But I just play it like a pleb and be fine and enjoy it like I did the Dark Ages. Luke, looking forward to that one?
Yeah, I actually picked it up already, the DLC. Very confident in it. Mainly because I've been listening to Hugo Martin, which clearly you have as well, who is talking, he's been talking about it for a while and saying how big it is and that it's Metroidvania-ish as well. He was saying like it's... I know, sorry, spoilers. I don't think he means like it's not full on, it's just got elements. You'll be fine. So, and then the trailer dropped, and just, I love that they've, the reason I love it so much is because that spear and the grapple reminds me more of Eternal, which is my favorite. And I love the increased mobility. So, I'm all into this. And also those weird bits in the trailer where it's like Doom 2. Yeah. Like I'm really interested just what they're doing with that. I just think that was super cool. So yeah, I think this will be a great swan song for id's new Doom, series, and then before they invariably move on to probably Quake or something. So yeah.
Okay, Craig. So Craig, you're different because this is a game that screams for a keyboard and mouse. But not
which is exactly why I don't get on with it. Yeah, I don't. I can't do it. It's very much a skill issue. But there's too much to do in Doom Eternal. I didn't play Dark Ages really. I played it for all of 10 minutes and never bothered after that. But yeah, there's too much to do. There's too much swapping and grappling, and I can't do it.
And because of that, I think Dark Ages will suit you better because you don't have to like have a specific gun for specific I would say enemies, and there is like not a lot of jumping around and platforming, and it's
They
more
did,
on
so
the
they
ground.
introduced it like Doom Eternal was all movement, and the first one was like run and gun, and they introduced this one as like stand your ground, stand and fight, or whatever they called it. So in a sense, you could say they were trying to tailor it more towards the console or the controller experience, as it were. But Craig has said that he tried it and he didn't like it. So fair dues. That's like you and Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I did actually try Doom, the Dark Ages, on my daughter's PC when she got the PC, and I can't remember if I was trying to keyboard and mouse it because I knew that was the way everybody said you should play it. So maybe I should do Doom the Dark Ages and stick with the controller, and then I'll enjoy it.
Do it. Give it a go. Give it a go. And the last one that we're going to mention real briefly, mostly actually, I'm surprised how well received the announcement has been, is Spyro. People have, I've heard people talking about Spyro in real life. I'm well surprised by this. They put a little chart out of the what announcements have made ripples across the internet, like engagement metrics for across all of the showcases in Summer Game Fest. What's made the most waves? And God of War was at the top. Ocarina of Time was second, but on the list, Spyro was there. Call of Duty wasn't. Activision done fucked up, didn't they? What? I mean, do you lot care about Spyro? I don't care about Spyro, but it seems to be a big deal.
I do. Yeah, because I love a platformer.
Yeah.
Never played it.
Well, you're going to get a chance.
Yeah.
I was shocked by two things that came out about Spyro, because like obviously they did the trilogy, right? The remake trilogy a few years ago. That sold 11 million copies. That absolutely blew my mind that it sold over 11 million copies. Because even though Spyro is very nostalgic for people, it's never been as big as like Crash or anything. So I was genuinely shocked by that. That was the first one. And the second one is on the Spyro channel, that announced trailer has 16 million views. So like this is like insane like levels of engagement for Spyro. So people clearly like this should be very successful, I would think, provided it doesn't,
like Isla said, all hail the purple dragon. That's all you need to
he
say.
can actually fly now, the little fucker.
Yeah,
so,
it's about time.
Yeah, it's about time. We've had to wait like 25 years and he can actually fly. So the only thing I didn't like about it was just that they just gave like the tiny little bit of gameplay.
Yeah.
I would have, it would be nice to get more, but fine. I'm looking forward to it.
When's it coming? Do we know? Next year, is it?
Next year. Yeah, next year.
Spring 27, yes. So, okay, I think we've covered enough showcase for today and the topics that we need to. Shout if there is anything significant that we missed, but I think we can probably wrap up and have dinner now. So I'm going to say my thank you to everybody that's come through and watched, talk to us and just listened and all the rest of it. It is always appreciated. Amine.
Yeah.
We're wrapping up now, so you say what you want to say to people.
Thank you everybody for watching. Join the Discord as always. Hopefully we get community games back. Don't know who did I see in the chat saying about Forza. Like we will play Forza probably in the future. So yeah, join the community games.
He says as he sleeps through another one. Yeah.
I did not sleep. I asked yesterday and nobody.
Yeah, it was my fault yesterday. I'll take that.
It's all good. It's all good. We'll get some going next week. Cool. Craig.
Yes.
You say what you want to say to people.
Can I just give an honourable mention to them doing Minecraft Dungeons 2?
No.
I don't know that anybody cares about that, but me and my daughter played it and really enjoyed it, and she's excited for a second one coming out. And I didn't have it on my bingo card either. I didn't know how well it had been received, but there it is, another one. So yeah, anyway, honourable mention. That's all I wanted to say.
You don't want to
Thank
say
you for
anything
coming
to-
on.
Yeah, there we go. Do your outro.
Thank you for coming. Like Amine says, community games. We had a couple of good weeks. We dropped off this week, but I'm running out of ideas, so it'd be nice to get some fresh ideas in from people from the community.
Don't worry, Craig. I'm gonna get back to making videos soon, and everything will explode, and we'll have loads of people playing games. Loads of people. A few clips of our delightful podcast. Spread it around like a virus on the internet, but the good kind, the viral kind, not the virus kind that takes down people's PCs. Maybe a little bit of both. Maybe this is a threat. Fuck you lot. I don't know. Time will tell. Luke, say what you want to say.
I do not condone the spreading of viruses, whether biologic ones or electronic. But otherwise, thank you for watching and join the Discord. And Gears looks okay.
It looks okay. Yeah. Okay. So cool. Thanks everyone. We will see you in Discord and around and on for next week. No Replicant. Nobody did mention Guild Wars 3, but I am curious about it. We'll wait to see some more on that one a little bit later. Good night.
Halo looks better.